Yo, what's up guys? Chase Arevalo, and in this video we're going to be breaking down Taylor Fritz versus Nuno Borges, and this is at the Delray Beach Open. And yeah, without further ado guys, let's get straight into it. My name is Chase. I coach at IMG Academy. I was a director at the Rick Macy Academy at 21 years old, and I've coached Lulu Sun, and I've also played Division I tennis. So without further ado, let's get straight into it guys. Notice the chest angle on the kick serve. Notice how his chest is pointing up to the ball, and his chest isn't pointing this way here to the right. His chest is pointing up to the ball. His chest is going up this way instead of pointing this way. Keeps his left hand on the racket until it bounces. Plants open stance. Notice how he's catching the ball above the net height here. He's being more aggressive. Patience in the cross rally. So let's see if did he do the footwork to change direction there? He split steps. Notice how his feet are very narrow here. I'm not saying he can't make this shot, but for Taylor Fritz, this is pretty narrow for a stance. All right, I would recommend neutral balls popping into an open or semi-open stance. Notice how his weight is on his right foot here. He's transferring his weight onto his right leg. His shoulders are completely level when he turns, and it keeps his spine straight. He's staying tight to the baseline. Open stance, gets his right elbow completely straight on his backhand preparation. Notice how his right elbow is completely straight. That's something you can also copy for your backhand. Notice where his backhand on the run target was. Same thing, backhand on the run. Stays patient, goes deep cross again. Open stance. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you want to know where to invest $1,000 right now? Well, forget about AI, quantum computing, electric vehicles, cryptocurrencies, or robotics.
Big split, puts his weight on his right leg. So notice, he got a slice from his opponent. He rips cross. Look, Taylor Fritz can see his opponent opens up the racket and goes continental grip. Okay, so they're slicing it. So automatically he's gonna have more time now, okay? Now, he's setting up, gets racket head up like he's gonna rip the forehand, but his grip is already, if you look at his hand here, his grip is already in like an Eastern or continental grip. So he decides to go drop shot with his opponent like 10 feet behind the baseline, goes down the line. That was effective. Great open stance from Fritz. Okay, so here, look at where Taylor Fritz is positioned. Okay, he goes for a drop shot. okay? Now, the question that you need to be asking yourself, if you're in this same scenario here, right? And just take a look at the full context, right, of the situation before he gets set up for the ball. So he goes line, his opponent goes cross, clips the net, it clips the net and then goes back deep. So this is now the context that he has to make a decision. Okay, should I go drop here? Very simple. What's the question that we're gonna ask? Does he have all the options on the menu? Or is he kind of going for this shot as kind of a bailout? I don't think that Taylor Fritz has all the different options on the menu right here. He's behind the baseline. He might be right on top of the baseline. The ball landed deep. It was kind of a weird shot, right? Because it clipped the net and then bounced back. So it's not going to be kind of a standard bounce. And like you can hit that, but are all the options on the menu? I would argue not all the options were on the menu. So it doesn't make total sense for Taylor Fritz to use the drop shot there. And it's also like, okay, if you are going to use the drop shot and you have the context of like the scenario and how it's maybe not the easiest shot that you're getting, then maybe go cross court with the drop shot, right? Let's see positioning wise where his opponent would have been. Yeah, so here, execution wise, it's going to be easier to execute the drop shot if you go backhand cross. Okay, from this perspective, I don't really think there's a major benefit to hitting it over here. It's going to be a similar distance that your opponent has to cover. And I would rather have my opponent beat me with a backhand on the run, getting under the ball, right, from a drop shot on their backhand side than forehand side. I feel like most players will be a little bit more comfortable with that on their forehand side. So that's another reason why I would maybe go cross court on this drop shot. Patience in the cross-court rally here. Okay, so his opponent goes cross. Fritz's opponent goes cross there. So Nuno hit a good shot there, but let's take a look. So here, when Nuno goes down the line, so here Nuno goes down the line on his backhand, okay, and hits it deep. But it's not like a ripper, right? It's not like a ball that Fritz can't get back. Fritz, if you're here, he's got to go deep cross court here. He's got to put him on the run more. He doesn't do enough. He just gets the ball back, and then Nuno can find his forehand and rip it to the other side. So, yeah, he does get it back deep, but his opponent finds the inside out, puts him on the run on the backhand. So the way to avoid, right? So if you're Taylor Fritz and you're like, wait, I don't want to be in these situations where I'm on the run on my backhand and I want to minimize these, then it's very simple. You just got to keep the rally in the cross court and don't return that ball more middle when your opponent goes down the line. So your opponent goes line, send the ball, boom, back cross. Okay? So don't be complacent with just getting the ball back to the middle. All right, stay disciplined with your cross-court rallies. Notice how Taylor Fritz's right hand and his wrist is stacked above his right elbow as he's launching and pushing up from the ground. So in the timing of his arm motion, his wrist is stacked above his elbow right as he's pushing from the ground. So see in your own footage, do you replicate that or do you not? Okay, notice how he gets his right elbow completely straight on his backhand. His left elbow verifiably has a little bit of bend in it. As he goes to the ball, his left elbow will completely straighten. You see how his left elbow went completely straight at contact. Good adjustment steps. Keeps the left hand on the racket till it bounces. He's doing it, guys. He's doing it. Look how great Nuno turns his shoulders here. We can both see his back of his t-shirt, okay? A lot of players don't turn enough on their backhand or their forehand. So what you can work on with your coaches is say, hey coach, when I'm hitting my forehand, when I'm hitting my backhand, can you see my shoulder blade? And can you coach me to turn my back and show you my back? And remind me to turn more and show you my back when I'm turning on my ground strokes. So if your coach is feeding you balls or you're just in a live ball rally, that can be kind of programmed for you there. All right, so talk with your coaches and work on it. And also it's like you can just look in your own footage. It's also like, look, you can look in your own footage and see if you're doing it or not, right? But if you're kind of in your session, highly recommend have whoever you have on court with you, have them check that. Good open stance. Okay, notice the reasoning why he went line there. Great movement from Nuno. He gets the short ball. He goes inside out here, right? Like positioning wise, he finds the forehand. Now he has a decision. Do I go cross court to go inside out for a winner? Okay. If I don't think I can hit a winner, I got to go down the line. So here he goes down the line. Interesting. I think if he gets there early enough and Fritz is this far over here on this side of the court. Whoops, cursor was on the wrong screen. And Fritz is here on this side of the court, then it might give you reason to think I can hit a winner inside out here. But he's got some doubt, so he rips it. Oh, he missed it. He missed it there. So not saying that's the wrong shot, but just look at where Taylor Fritz was positioned. Okay? So when he's like, now he's committing to the shot. Nuno is committing, he's looking at the ball, he's not looking at Taylor Fritz anymore. So when he commits to the shot, Fritz is in the corner way over here. He's literally out of the camera view. So that's why I think if you're Nuno, rip it inside out for a winner here. In my opinion, you can hit a winner cross court here. Right? Unless he just thinks it's too low to do that. But I think this guy's a pro player. I mean, he's like probably like a 15 UTR, 14, 15 UTR, probably 15. And I think if you're a 15 UTR, bro, you can rip a winner here. So, yeah. But if you don't have the confidence to go for that winner, then just leave it and go down the line. So, not saying it's like the wrong decision there, but I would argue if I'm a 15 UTR, I would have the confidence to hit an inside-out winner on that shot. Notice, he's just letting go of the left hand once the ball bounces. He's just letting go of the left hand once the ball bounces. Notice how the racket stays on the right side of his body and it doesn't travel back this way. Versus a lot of WTA players, their stroke goes around this way and then comes back around. So if you want a more efficient stroke where you can get more from doing less, you want to model your stroke where your racket stays on the hitting side of your body. So if you're a righty, it's going to stay on the right side of your body, on the outside of your body, right? So if you're looking at your footage, make sure the racket stays on this side of your body when you push from your legs and you come forward. A very common mistake is that players turn, and then when they're ready to hit, they do another take back. So make sure and check with your coaches to make sure you're not doing a double take back, okay? Great wide base from Taylor Fritz here. Interesting decision to go line. Okay, let's see if that was the right, look, he missed the shot, but let's analyze, was that the right decision? Okay, so right here for Nuno, I want you guys in the comments to let me know right now, okay? Let me know. Does Nuno have all the options on the menu? Can he rip it inside out forehand if he wants? Could he rip an inside in forehand here if he wants? Could he hit any shot he wants and he's deciding to go drop shot? Or is he bailing out here? Let me know in the comments. Let me know in the comments. Even though he missed that, I think it's not a bad idea to go for a drop shot there. As long as your feet are set up and you're there early enough and you have all the options on the menu, good decision to go drop. Great open stance. Notice how he pivots the right toe to the right side. Notice when he prepares for his backhand, his left elbow has a little bit of bend. His right elbow is completely straight and his strings are facing the left side over here. The edge of his racket right here, the orange edge here, points directly forward to his opponent, or I guess to the other side of the court. These are checkpoints that you can copy on your backhand. It will help you. So Nuno decides to go down the line here. This is a tough ball to go down the line. You can just block it. Like his intention, like he's just blocking the shot, right? But that's a tough ball to do when your body weight is traveling backwards. So you see how he kind of fell back as he's hitting this one? Let's go back a few seconds here. So look here. So look, he's on his back foot here. And as he's hitting, he's kind of allowing his body to travel backwards, right? What you want to do instead is get low just like he's doing, plant your left foot, but then when you push off the ground to hit the ball, get your body weight to go forward just a little bit. Just a little bit. It will help you tremendously in these particular scenarios, okay? And it's going to feel like you actually kind of force your body weight forward. It's going to feel very unnatural at the beginning, but try that out in these scenarios and let me know how it works for you. Okay, split step, pivots. Notice how he pivots, right? He's standing upright with his legs straight, and then he bends his knees and pivots and turns into his left hip. Good job taking the ball on the rise there. Look at what Fritz did on that. Look, he hits the serve. Right at the +1. Look, it bounces. Boom. Right off the bounce. Takes it right off the bounce. So here, Taylor Fritz decides to go inside in here. I think, look, if you're going to rip inside in and follow it into net. And you got to go big and be super aggressive. But if you just do a simple change of direction, the issue with that in this scenario is that your opponent will be able to rip a forehand cross here, okay, and put you on the run. So if you're a great mover, if you're the better mover of the person on court, right, then maybe do that, right? But Notice how he's here? Like, that's a difficult shot. Like, his opponent could potentially put him on the run. I'm curious why Nuno goes back to his backhand there. I guess he wanted to break it down. Look at Taylor Fritz's footwork on the return here. Look at Taylor Fritz's footwork on the return. Split. Loads. Notice how when he loads, you can tell he's getting his weight onto his left leg because his right knee starts to travel inwards like this. And you can see his body leaning in this way. Okay? So he gets his body weight on his left leg, pushes off, makes contact. Notice he makes contact. He pushes off. He's in the air right now. Okay? Then lands on the right leg. Okay? So push off the outside leg, then make contact, then and only then your right leg will touch. Your inside leg will touch the ground. You can copy that timing for your own return. What should Nuno do here? Should Nuno go angle cross? Should Nuno go down the line? Should he go lob? Let's see. How far did Taylor Fritz commit in? If Taylor Fritz comes in pretty fast, right? I'm going to think go down the line or lob him. If he's giving a lot of space, potentially the cross-court angle might make sense. Let's see what he does. Okay. So, yeah, so look, he did go cross here. Not saying that's the wrong option. But yeah, he could have gone. Yeah. It's tough there because he has to make contact below the net height. So there, in general, you're probably going to want to go line. Cross court's not a horrible option, but most players, they're going to be able to move fast enough because when you get under the ball like that, it's going to have to float a little bit. So you're not going to be able to hit it kind of like a faster slice. So because of that, probably going to want to go line and try to thread the needle there. Serve. It's crazy. That's huge. Look at this serve +1. Pushes off the right foot, lands on the left. Pushes off the right foot, lands on the left. Loads. It's crazy. Split, gets his body weight going forward, takes one step out with the left leg, pushes off the left, turns, rips it, lands on the right leg. Do you do that on your own returns? Look at your own return footage right now. Do you do that? It's a good idea from Nuno. The error there, I would have rather seen him miss the ball long instead of angle, but very small detail. Serves down the tee. Patience in the cross-court rally will pay off. Look. Patience cross. Patience cross. Patience cross. Notice his slice serve broke the sideline within the service box. The slice serve broke the sideline. His serve out wide here broke the sideline within the service box. That's why his opponent got angled out this far. That's the objective goal that you can train within your serves. So look here, Nuno opts to hit a slice. I would argue he's there. Look at his body. His body's really upright. He's not really on the stretch on the run. So I would argue he's in a position where he could hit it with two hands, right? So if I were his coach, I would recommend for him to go open stance and rip this one topspin cross court. Okay? I don't think there's a need for him to slice this. I think that's a little bit of a bailout. What do you guys think? Do you think he should have hit a slice on that? Or do you think that he should have gone topspin cross court with open stance? Let me know your thoughts. Okay, so here he gets a short ball. This is going to be an approach shot, right? So is he going to go cross court for a winner, or is he going to approach down the line, rip, and follow it into net? Let's see what he does.
Best and worst dinner for your waistline. Sweet potatoes. Try to find the purples.
So here, look, this guy, Nuno, he actually takes the racket a little bit far back behind the hitting side. So this is an example of an ATP player who has had some type of success, right? But doesn't hit some of the main ATP modern mechanics, right? You can obviously still make stuff work, but it's about like what's optimal, right? So you're gonna notice here how this is a pretty big swing. This is gonna look more like the WTA style strokes. And the only reason why you don't see that very commonly on the ATP tour is because of the athleticism involved, okay, and how good these players are and how fast the game is, okay? It's a completely different game than the women's game, all right? It's way faster, so they don't have the luxury of timing a slower ball, okay? So oftentimes you're gonna see the best players, the ones you're seeing coming up having the most success, they're gonna be hitting these ATP style modern biomechanics, okay? So it's not that you can't make it work, but is it gonna help you as much as if you had these kind of more optimal biomechanics? Fritz does a great job taking it on the rise. That's crazy.
Idiot. Now I'm in love. That was a good goal. We're getting married.
Cross court. Yeah. That's an example of like, maybe don't change direction when you're on the run in a long rally like that. Like it's just, it's a lower percent shot there. I mean, look, actually he is there. He is there with a lot of time. So yeah, I mean, he's actually in a solid position there. I thought he got there a little bit later. So yeah, technically you can change direction. It's just about how much risk do you want to take at this point in your match? Was it the right amount of risk? Was it too much? Was it not enough? Okay, these are the questions you got to be asking yourself. If you haven't already, drink your water. Fritz got a rip, big shot cross here. So if you want to see what happened there, technically speaking, look, his shoulders are level here when he's hitting it, right? But look how he kind of has to reach as he's hitting okay? Doesn't really have any balance on his left leg. And notice how he's kind of falling over, right? He doesn't have like the great posture anymore. So one kind of rule that I coach players on is to keep their spine straight when they're hitting their ground strokes, okay? So if you look at like a player with like an X-ray vision and you can see like their bones, right? You want to see the best players, they're going to have a straight spine when they're hitting, when they're rotating. It's going to help them be more efficient biomechanically. So what he didn't do here, or what kind of broke down, is he wasn't able to keep that good posture, and that's something that contributed to him missing that shot. Okay, doesn't guarantee you're gonna miss a shot. You can still make the ball doing shitty technique, right? But it's about, are you doing everything within your control to get the best result? Wow. So his opponent starts to expect that he's going to go cross, so Fritz switches it up, rips down the line. It's a big shot. Yeah, to me, it's not about him missing that shot. It's about like, what was your intention there? Like, were you trying to go down the line, or did you just like shank the ball? Because if you were trying to go line there, that's a big problem. Even though he missed that, look at what he was doing with his body weight. First of all, great movement, underrated movement actually from Fritz. Now notice, he plants on this shot, and I really like, first of all, great hip turn. See how he's fully turned into his right hip, fully turned, okay? Now, he fires the right glute. You can see he's in hip extension now. His hips were bent, and then now his glute, his right glute fired, and he's in full hip extension. And he gets his weight going forward a little bit there, okay? So he shanked the ball, missed it a little bit long, but from the leg standpoint, pretty good. Notice the shorter ball here. Why doesn't he go close stance? Why doesn't he go close stance? There's a reason why he's not going close stance, guys. What's the reason? Drop it in the comments below. So look here, Taylor Fritz can hit a backhand winner cross court. Okay? Totally can. But in your mind, if you're Taylor Fritz, in this position here, because you had to do a lot of footwork actually getting space and going back, right? As opposed to you're only moving forward, take note of that in your brain, right? Okay, I'm moving back a little bit, positioning wise, okay? Now, if you're Fritz, he's still one of the best players in the world. He can still hit a winner here cross court, right? However, there could be a little bit of doubt that he can hit a winner cross court here. So in that scenario, you would want to go down the line and then follow it into net. And for him here, I think it's mainly the positioning standpoint, right? Because let's say he was way back behind the baseline, he gets that ball where all he's got to do is move forward, get up to it, transfer his weight forward, kind of flow through it. That would be easier to execute in literally the same positioning, okay? But the issue with what he was doing was that he was also kind of having to move back and make some finer adjustment steps there. So it's going to be a little harder, okay? a good ball. If you're Nuno there, the best error is missing that one a little bit deep cross court. So if he's gonna miss that, you wanna miss that ball here. If you miss that ball there, not a bad miss. It's a good miss actually, right? In the net, not so good. Ace down the tee. Almost.
Do you know?
Awesome, guys. Well, that's it for this video. If you got any value out of the video, like the video, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel, send this video to anybody you know who loves tennis, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.